Matt Canning, bodybuildingpro.com. We are here at the 2013 Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic in Columbus, Ohio. I'm here with Layne Norton. I've spoke with Layne many times before. I'm happy to see him again. Layne, there's a debate on the message boards online I see a lot. I believe it's a debate that should not be, and that is the debate between fast and slow cardio. I see so many of my friends doing slow cardio, and some of them like the scenery, and that's fine. That's a separate argument. Okay, if they want to go jogging, that's fine. But fast cardio is more efficient, and whenever anybody asks me, I basically point it out like this. Fast cardio during the time that you perform it, say if you walk or run 100 meters, I'd say, okay, you're basically burning the same amount of fat there. But afterwards, there's the benefit of mitochondrial biogenesis, the fat burning within the cell, that's going to give you a whole fat burning process and benefit that you don't get during the actual time that you're performing the cardio, but it's throughout the day. So that's how I explain it to friends, just to keep it short without getting into too much of the science. But you're somebody who knows a lot more science than me anyway, so can you explain to me why, and everybody watching, why fast cardio is more efficient and much more better for you to do than slow cardio?
Sure, one of the things people get hung up on with cardio is the fat source or the fuel source they use during cardio, right? So everybody says, how do I burn the maximum amount of fat during cardio? Well, slow cardio, you'll absolutely burn a greater percentage of calories from fat during the cardio. But if you look at the long-term benefit, you burn more overall body fat from the high-intensity cardio. And the reason, and actually my friend Dr. Jacob Wilson did a great kind of meta-analysis of all cardio studies and found that like right around 90% of your max VO2, of your max intensity on cardio, there's like a break point where you have like the intensity of the cardio, you get more fat burning than is predicted by a linear increase in the cardio output. So what I mean is there's like an inflection point where you get an even better benefit, okay? And that's from going really, really hard. And that is because, like you talked about, not only do you burn a lot of calories during the cardio, but you have the mitochondrial effects. You get greater oxidative capacity, more mitochondria. So not only do you have a faster rate of oxidation, you have greater capacity to oxidize body fat. And that's very important for long-term body fat loss. And that's why when you look at short-term studies that just look at, percentage of calories burned from fat, slow cardio will be quote-unquote better. But if you actually look at long-term studies on body composition, on actual body fat loss, high intensity is better. And there was actually a study that came out, I believe it was in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning. They compared two groups. They had one group walk on a treadmill at like 3 miles per hour at like a slight incline for an hour, right? Sounds pretty familiar, I'm sure, to a lot of people who have done that before. And then they had another group of people just do 6 30-second sprints. 6 30-second all-out sprints, hard as they could. Took as much time in between each sprint as they needed to recover and be totally ready. The group doing the sprints lost 50% more body fat than the group doing the walking. And they basically only did about 3 minutes of work. You know what I mean? It's because of that capacity, that oxidative capacity. And if
Was that an hour versus 3 minutes, I'm sorry?
Yeah, an hour. An hour versus 3 minutes of actual work. Now they took a break in between in terms of, just kind of resting, letting their heart rate come back down. So the time they were doing cardio might have been, 25, 30 minutes, something like that. But it was just fast cardio with breaks in between. And there's actually studies out there that show that even 2 20-second sprints significantly increase your rate of fat burning. So, this is where it's important to differentiate. Yes, it's important to look at the short-term mechanistic stuff, but it's also important to look at, okay, does this actually make a difference in the endpoint, right? So when we looked at muscle protein synthesis in our lab, that's a short-term data point. But we also, at the very end, my last study was a study on body composition. Does this stuff actually make a difference on body composition? Because you can take all the short-term measures you want, but if it doesn't actually make a difference on body composition, who gives a damn?
Layne, I want to say thank you for that. Honestly, this is not a debate, and I see it all too often, and some debates I don't think should be, and this is one of them. And as for my friends, I'm going to say this specifically to you, I see a lot of you doing slow cardio at the gym or going jogging, which could be dangerous due to uneven terrain or just being outside, or when I see women outside running with headphones on at 6 a.m. and I think that could be dangerous in and of itself for other entirely separate reasons, but it's just not as efficient. So just for that alone, I think that it's not a bad idea to switch up.
I do want to say one more thing. I hear a lot of people say, well, high intensity cardio is catabolic. Well, no, it's not. It is not. Stop it. That's nonsense. Okay? In fact, the meta-analysis by Dr. Jacob Wilson I talked about, he actually looked at who retained muscle better, who retained strength better, people who did low intensity cardio or people who did like high intensity sprints, and it was no contest. The people doing low intensity cardio had steady decrements in their strength and hypertrophy levels, whereas the people doing high intensity sprints maintained almost the same amount of strength and hypertrophy as people who weren't doing cardio at all. So if you're going to do cardio, make it short, make it intense. I mean, my friend Ben Pakulski, fellow Canadian of yours, he got ready for the Arnold, just placed second. All he does is high intensity sprint. In fact, you see his legs, how they looked at the show today? He's always had good legs. Some people were saying they're the best they've ever looked. I'll let you in a little secret. He hardly even trained them. All he did was super high intensity resistance on a bike. High intensity intervals. They're called wind gates in Dr. Jacob Wilson's lab. He did them 3 or 4 times a week, and he said his legs have never looked better. So no, it's not catabolic. Stop it.
Thank you very much, Layne. Layne, you know, it's always nice to see you. I want to say congratulations on your son-to-be.
Thank you.
Yeah, I look forward to that. I'm sure that you and Isabel will be great parents. I almost think that people like you who are educated, who are intelligent, should have more kids. You know, I'm excited to see that you're going to probably bring another very intelligent person into the world. So
I certainly hope so.
I think
I'm excited to meet him. I'm excited to be a dad. My wife's back behind the camera giggling right now. She can't wait to be a mom. And, you know, I love a challenge, and I'm always up for the next phase.
You know what? I think it's great to be a dad, and I love having a son, too, so it's fantastic. Layne, thank you once again for everything.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you. Everyone here at the 2013 Arnold Classic in Columbus, Ohio with Layne Norton. Dr. Layne Norton. Thanks, Layne.
Thanks, Matt.